By integrating ALE with GitHub, users can log in using their GitHub accounts and deploy repositories from their GitHub accounts. To integrate with GitHub, we first need to create a GitHub app and retrieve information such as the client ID and secret key. Go to the Developer Settings page in your GitHub account and click the New GitHub App button. Set a name for your app and enter the domain to link with the app into the homepage URL field. You will need to provide two values for the callback URL. Add a callback URL field and enter the two URLs as shown on the screen. If you are integrating GitHub with ALE installed in a local environment, change the domain of the homepage and callback URLs to the local address. Make sure to disable webhooks. Next, let's configure the permissions in the Permissions section. You'll need to grant a total of 12 permissions across 3 categories, as shown on the screen. The full list of permissions for each category can be found in the video description below. Now, create the app. Once the app is created, you will be able to retrieve the app ID and client ID. Click the Generate a New Client Secret button to retrieve the client secret. At the bottom of the page, click the Generate a Private Key button to download the private key file. So far, we've gathered all the necessary values to integrate GitHub with ALE. Next, we need to configure the app's visibility settings. On the sidebar, click Advanced to configure the app's visibility settings. By default, only users within the GitHub organization where the app was created are allowed to log in via GitHub and connect repositories. To make the app accessible to users outside the GitHub organization, set the app's visibility to public. Even if the GitHub app is set to public, only users approved by an admin in ALE can access ALE. This ensures that you can safely operate the platform without adding every user to your GitHub organization. Now, let's go back to ALE and input the values we retrieved to integrate the GitHub app. For the private key, copy the entire content of the downloaded private key file and paste it. The GitHub login button has now been added to the ALE login page. If an unapproved account attempts to log in using GitHub, it will be registered in ALE's operations system as a deactivated user. Once the admin activates the account, it will gain access to ALE. To deploy a repository from your GitHub account, you need to install the app for the account you wish to link. Now, you can select a repository from your GitHub account. By selecting a repository and entering configuration values such as environment variables, you can easily deploy a service. Thank you for watching.